Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. So in this video, I'm going to talk about my very honest experience learning Arabic from zero all the way up till now. So to begin with, I didn't learn Arabic because I lived in an Arab country. Like many of you watching this, I was born and raised in the West, specifically in Spain. Therefore, there was no natural Arabic environment around me. I didn't have a community where I could step outside my door and hear the language in the streets. Now, I need to clarify something right away because people always make this assumption. My mother tongues are Spanish and Moroccan, and because of that, people assume that standard Arabic, Fusha, was just handed to me. They think I just woke up knowing it, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Yes, being from a Moroccan background gave me an incredible advantage with one specific thing, which is pronunciation. I never struggled with making the sounds because my throat was just already used to the heavy letters. But when it comes to vocabulary, structure, and grammar, Moroccan Arabic has a very small relation to Fusha. To me, Fusha was a completely new language. I had to learn it from absolute scratch, just like anyone else. So how did I do it without that environment we're talking about? So basically I had to create one. I had to create my own Arabic environment. I became literally obsessed with exposing myself to Arabic as much as humanly possible. And for the first few years of my journey, I did something that might surprise you. I never tried to formally study it. I didn't open a single grammar book. I didn't sit there memorizing long vocabulary lists. I relied completely on input, just pure, massive consumption of content. All started when I was younger. I would watch cartoons in Arabic. Then, as my ear got used to the rhythm, to the sounds, I leveled up. I moved on to documentaries, then I started watching the news, then YouTube channels, YouTube videos, whatever I could find in Arabic, I would watch it. I was so obsessed, and because I consumed so much content, my listening comprehension improved a lot. So till now, all good, all perfect. However, eventually I hit a massive wall. The illusion of fluency caught up with me, because back then I could listen but I couldn't read, and I realized this when I started trying to read the Quran. Because I had spent years only listening, my eyes weren't trained. My reading was slow, was kind of choppy, kind of frustrating, and full of mistakes. And I felt like a complete beginner all over again. But I knew there was no shortcut. The only way out was commitment and putting in the effort. So I put in the hours, I started practicing every single day. And the real turning point for me was the month of Ramadan. You see, Ramadan, it's a game changer. Every Ramadan, I would give myself a challenge. I would force myself to read the entire Quran from the first page to the very last. And I told myself, even if it takes me an eternity to finish a page, I'm not stopping, I'm not giving up. I also started memorizing the Quran. And this combination made me incredibly comfortable with the Arabic script. The letters stopped looking like drawings and started looking familiar. But here's the thing, reading wasn't my only struggle. Speaking was a completely different beast. I had reached a point where I could understand almost everything I heard, but if you asked me to speak, I couldn't. I would freeze. As you surely know, speaking takes practice, and back then I didn't have anyone to practice with. Fusha is not a street language. You don't just walk into a cafe and order a coffee in pure standard Arabic in Fusha. It's the language of books, of news, of religion. So finding a speaking partner in Spain was basically impossible. So I did the only thing I could do. I started speaking to myself. It may sound crazy, but it was extremely helpful. I would walk around my room describing what I was doing in Arabic, what I was seeing. I also remember starting the habit of writing, translating my thoughts onto paper. Let's say I kind of forced my brain to think in Arabic instead of translating everything from my native language. And slowly that mental block started to disappear. I reached a point where I could listen to Arab scholars speaking in high-level Fusha, and I could understand their complex religious points. And the beautiful thing is, by mastering Fusha, my ear became so tuned to the language that I eventually started understanding scholars even when they spoke in their own local dialects, whether they were Saudi, Emirati, Syrian, Jordanian, and so on and so forth. Trust me, once you master Fusha, Arabic dialects will follow. Fusha is the bridge to the entire Arabic world. And looking back, none of this was a school strategy, it was just obsession. Because for me, Arabic wasn't just a language, wasn't a hobby, and it definitely wasn't about sounding impressive. It was the key to understanding my religion properly. I wanted to understand the Quran without always relying on translations. I wanted to understand the sayings of the Prophet directly from the source. But most importantly, I wanted to get closer to Allah through understanding His words and not just reciting them blindly without actually understanding what they mean. That was the fire that pushed me through the frustrating reading sessions. That was what kept me talking to myself in an empty room. It was purely about access to the truth, access to a deeper connection. And I promise you this, when your reason for learning is strong enough, you will eventually make it happen. And you don't need to live in an Arab country in order to make it. You don't need a massive budget or a fancy tutor. You just need intention, immersion, and commitment. So yeah, may Allah make this journey easy for you guys. If you're watching this and feeling stuck or feeling like it's taking too long, just look in, trust the process, surround yourself with the language every single day. Put in the work now and you will eventually see progress. My next videos are going to be even more beneficial, inshallah. I'll be sharing more of this journey, some tips and advices, and I'll try to make videos in Arabic so you don't want to miss it. Hit that subscribe button, lock in, and I'll see you in the next one.